Wanted to quickly tell you guys about the gyms in Belarus too. So the gyms, they're just like American gyms, or like higher end gyms in Asia. They're not like old equipment, they're more modern equipment, and they're cheap. They're, you know, my gym membership here, I paid $30 for the month. The type of currency that's used here is called Belarusian rubles, and 20 Belarusian rubles, but it's like a number, you know, they call it 20, but it's really like 200,000 or something like that. Is the equivalent of about $7 US. So yeah, that's how you do the money here. And hold on, I'm gonna let these cars pass. I'm kind of walking out in the street a little bit, so that you guys can kind of see a nice background of some of the architecture here while we talk. So anyways, there's some big guys in the gyms here. Belarusian people, their size, like as far as like their height and their bone structure, I would say is comparable to like other European nations. It's not like exceptionally huge, or it's not like exceptionally small. It's pretty average for European. And one characteristic though that I see with some of the men that I don't see with the women is I see a slanted forward, like top of the skull. Like I kind of have that too. I kind of have like a slanted, like a slanted forward top of the skull. That's a sexually dimorphic characteristic. So it's a characteristic influenced by testosterone, mostly when you hit puberty and when you're in the womb. But I see it more exaggerated with the men here. So it's more selected for a trait, or a trait that is more common and more exaggerated in their gene pool. So you'll see men here where you'd think, okay, I need to avoid getting headbutted by that guy. Because they've got this thick front of the skull, that it's obviously thicker than average. So that's like a trait that I have seen that is common in the Slavic population. Not all of them, definitely not. But it's something that I've seen popping up here more often than not. And as far as like, you know, like human phenotypes, you know, what is the average, like you notice this when you go to different countries where it's not a melting pot. You notice that they have, each country that you go to has a gene pool. And then you see the different common phenotypes, that you can say, oh yeah, it's like one of the Belarusian people that looks this way, or you know, the 4 common looks that you see in Thai women, or something like that, you know. And that's what I mean by there are typical phenotypes, rather than if you live in a melting pot nation, you're not going to see that a lot. Anyways, back to the gyms. I've been getting good workouts in, which has been great because, you know, in California there's no gym, so that sucked. But here there's gym and no mask, and I've been getting in good workouts. So what was funny is the first day that I went there, I saw the biggest guy, you know, at the gym that I go to. And yeah, I understand, you know, how things are by now. So as soon as I saw him, you know, the first thing that I did was give him the bodybuilder nod, like sup, I see you. I see that you're buff. I see that you're yoked, that you're huge. And you know, one thing that I've noticed is that people in Eastern countries, Eastern nations, they care about what foreigners think, and they want to know what foreigners think, like Westerners think of them or think of their country or the people there. So for example, like when I'm in Thailand, if I'm at a restaurant or if I'm at a bar, Thai guys will bring their girlfriends up to me and ask me, do you think she's sexy? And they will want me to say yes, like it would like end their world, like if I said no. So obviously I always say yes. I'm like, yes, I think she's sexy. And then they get so happy, the biggest smile on their face and excited, like it energizes them. Like they are really happy that a Westerner, a foreigner approves of what they're doing, which is a very interesting phenomenon. So that's a very real thing in Thailand. But then here with the gym and everything too, you know, when that guy saw that I noticed him, that he was the big guy, it meant a lot to him. And, you know, I only speak very, very basic Russian. You know, it was one of my first days here, so it was funny too, because then, you know, every time that he's seen me since then, as soon as he sees me in the gym, he walks up to me and gives me a big smile and a big handshake. And before, you know, he was looking pretty solemn, because, you know, it's pretty common for Slavic people to not show much emotion. You don't see a lot of smiling unless they're your friend. Then you will see smiling. It would be like more unusual, whereas in Thailand and Asia just in general, it's the opposite. They're always smiling, even if they don't know you. But it's not the same here. So anyways, that definitely opened him, and so he's always very happy to see me now these days whenever I go to the gym. You know, it's a highlight of going to the gym is that guy coming up and with the big ass smile, the big ass dude with the big ass smile giving me the super enthusiastic handshake now. And some funny thing too is when I met him too, no, it was later. It was like the second day or something. I walked up to him and I meant to say, "What's your name?" But but I accidentally said, "How do you say?" So I meant to say "Kak vas zavot," or "Kak vas zavut." But what I ended up saying was "Kak skazat," which means "How do you say?" And he was like, he looked at me like, so I walked up to him, shake his hand, and I said "Kak skazat," and he looked at me like, "Oh, Kak skazat," and I was like, "No, zavot, zavot." That was funny. Anyways, guys, that's how the gyms have been in Belarus. It's been good.